We are. Okay, Savannah Lexicon here this morning on this Thursday morning. Glad to have you with us. And today's guests are Michael Winkler, President and CEO of Goodwill of Southeast Georgia, and Cynthia Barnes, Vice President, Community Engagement with Goodwill of Southeast Georgia. Welcome and good morning to both of you.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning, Wayne. Thank you for having us.
Absolutely, my pleasure. So I wanted to have you guys, everybody knows Goodwill, and but maybe not as well as they think they do. I know for me, for example, as I was thinking about bringing you guys in, because you guys, obviously, Goodwill does a lot of good in the community and has been around for such a very long time. I wanted to get you guys in, but when I was doing a little research, I was really surprised, number one, at the size of the organization and in what you guys are doing. I noticed, and correct me if I'm wrong, either one of you, that this Goodwill of Southeast Georgia serves 33 counties, ranging from Ridgeland, South Carolina, down to the St. Mary's River and westbound all the way to Vidalia. That was surprising. I didn't realize that, I kind of just thought it was Savannah, pretty much, in Chatham County. Then also that you have 6 stores now in Savannah, and the flagship store, I think, was relocated not too long ago to 220 Eisenhower Drive. Is that right?
That's absolutely correct. That happened last fall.
And that you have over 850 employees throughout this much larger than I knew Southeast Georgia organization. So bigger and involved in more things than I knew about, because you have your own manufacturing facility too, which I did not realize. Michael, maybe tell us a little bit about that in terms of the manufacturing facility, because again, I had no idea that you had kind of your own operation there.
Yeah, so you just hit it on the head too, Wayne. Most folks that we introduce to all that Goodwill does, at some point during our conversation, will use the phrase, "I had no idea."
Yeah.
Because we are so diverse. Our mission, goes back to 1902 and our founder, Reverend Edgar Helms. And, he founded Goodwill. He was a United Methodist minister. And for about 70 years, the Goodwill operations were a ministry of the United Methodist Church. In the early 70s, it broke off, became so large the church honestly didn't know what to do with it. So it became its own separate 501c3. We were all autonomous throughout the country. So our Goodwill here in Southeast Georgia, the donations that you make, the activities that we do, are all centered and focused on Southeast Georgia. As the president and CEO, I was hired by and report to a local board of directors here. So we are truly autonomous and truly local, but we have the benefits of a national member organization that we can tap into for ideas. One of those ideas a few years ago was to get into manufacturing and be a support mechanism to local manufacturers. In our case here in Southeast Georgia, in Savannah specifically, Gulfstream has been a wonderful partner and a wonderful sponsor at its inception of our G-Force manufacturing program, and that is a advanced manufacturing program where we support Gulfstream by manufacturing certain products that go on their new airplanes, things like insulating blankets and some other parts that are used in support of the production of the airplane.
That's great.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. We have almost 60 individuals working there, most of whom have come through our programs and our training opportunities.
That's incredible. Gulfstream, what a great company here in the area, and that's a nice connection to have, for sure.
It is. They've been a wonderful support both with the manufacturing facility and just in general. Gulfstream has been a wonderful partner of ours in support of all that we do.
And, workforce development, too. I realized that Goodwill was involved in that in some manner, but really not, I don't think, to the degree that you are. I mean, as I looked into it and saw all of the kinds of programs that you have for developing, and it's very comprehensive too, which is a nice thing. I mean, from the idea of developing, even a sort of an appropriate work attitude, work characteristics, and all of this sort of thing, and right on through the entire process of trying to secure employment. So tell us a little bit more about all of that.
Well, if you go back to what is the mission of Goodwill, it is to help those with disabilities and other barriers to employment to become employed and to live their best and fullest life.
Okay.
So everything we do from our stores to the manufacturing components and our custodial contract services and our staffing services, everything is designed to support what we do in workforce development, to give people the training that will not only let them achieve a job, but sustain a job. So it is the center of everything we do is workforce development.
And somehow, I have to admit, I never knew that there was any particularly precise connection with people with disabilities. I have to admit, I mean, I didn't know that was even necessarily, not that you're particularly exactly limited to that.
No.
But I mean, I didn't know that there was this sort of ingrained connection with that as well.
Yeah, so, Goodwill is a complicated not-for-profit. In fact, I always refer to us as the unicorn in the not-for-profit world because we truly are a social enterprise. 98% of our support for mission comes from the business operations that we have here in Southeast Georgia. So we're very unique in that area. When you look at our mission of being a workforce development organization, helping individuals with disabilities and other obstacles, what that means is we work with anybody in the community that has had a difficult time sustaining a living wage and employment.
Yeah.
And so for some individuals, they may have an organic challenge. So they may be differently abled, as some of our friends here in the Savannah community will talk about. They may have an intellectual, physical, or psychological challenge that has prevented them in the past from being sustainably employed at a living wage. And what we're able to do through our training programs, and most importantly, and the reason we have all of the business enterprises we have, is to create work experience and on-the-job training opportunities for those individuals that we serve. So we really are a comprehensive workforce development organization in that sense, because we take you from assessment, trying to figure out, because everything we do is client-focused. So what do you want to do? It's not about what jobs we have available. It's what does the individual really want to do?
Okay.
And then we craft a plan and a job opportunity based on that individual's interests and their capabilities.
Okay. And you do say, as you say, it's very comprehensive. Just, again, looking over some of the information I had in terms of developing work attitudes, we talked about that. But also, assessment of skills, I'm assuming, and capabilities, career planning, job development, job matching people up with the right jobs, which you were just talking about, placement assistance. So, I mean, you run through the whole gamut of taking people, assessing them, working with them, as you said, seeing what they want to do, and helping achieve those goals. So that's cool.
Yeah.
It is cool. It's a great job. I love what I do. I'm very passionate about it because I do, I believe personally that every individual in our community should have the opportunity to achieve their highest level of self-sufficiency. And that doesn't always, the community, the business community sometimes cannot see past an individual's challenge to give them the opportunity.
Right.
And so we really advocate on behalf of those individuals and really show that to the community that there's great dignity in work. There's great dignity in an individual being able to self-sustain their personal life. And so we everything we do is with that in mind. Everything we do is with the client's best interests in mind in terms of what their career goals are. So it's a great opportunity for us to be a model employer. It's a journey. It's not. So I can't sit here today and say we are a model employer, but we strive for that. That's our aspiration.
Sure.
Is to really demonstrate to the rest of the community. You know what? you can be a good corporate citizen. You can do the right things for individuals in our community and still make money. And because we're 98% self-sufficient as an organization. We take very little funding from the community, but what we do get goes directly to specific programs. So when we do fundraisers, it's always tied to some specific programs that we may be lacking a little bit in funding on.
Okay. Now, Michael, Michael, you mentioned that you're pretty new. Give us a nutshell version, your background of how you got involved in this sort of thing.
So I have been with Goodwill for about 13 years now.
Okay.
I spent a little over 10 years in Richmond, Virginia, working for Goodwill. And then prior to that, I was in the private sector. I actually have my degree in accounting.
Okay.
I worked in public accounting. I like to tell people I'm a recovering CPA. But the corporate world just wasn't very satisfying to me. And I saw an ad one day. I was working as a chief operating officer of an organization in Richmond, and I just wasn't feeling very professionally satisfied, and it just didn't feel very fulfilling what I was doing. So I was just kind of looking through the want ads, if you will, and I saw an opportunity for a vice president job at our local Goodwill in Richmond. I read the job description. I said, this sounds like something really cool.
Yeah.
I applied, and fortunately for me, I was hired, and this is my first opportunity as a CEO with Goodwill, and I'm just really excited to be in the Savannah community. It's a wonderful community. It's been a very welcoming community. I've been here about 2 years, and then my family just joined me last summer down here, and we're getting all settled in Savannah, and just love it.
It's an easy city to love. I'll tell you, it's an easy city. Now, Richmond's nice too, but I'll tell you what, Savannah is an easy city to love. So I'm sure they'll get tucked into it very nicely here and appreciate it. And Cynthia, how about you? Just give us a little nutshell version on your connections.
I'm another person who came from a business background and called no joy at one point and said there's got to be more.
Yes.
We moved from San Francisco a little over 10 years ago.
Wow, that is a big move.
It is a big move. But, no, Savannah is a lot like some of the neighborhoods in San Francisco.
Yeah,
so
I could see that.
it's a walkable city and good things like that. But when I left a very successful career in media and publishing, and when I did so, I said, I am going to do good. I want to work for a nonprofit. And that was a pretty vague idea, but I knew I wanted to do more and to leave a legacy of some sort. And like Mike, we just learned I saw an ad in the newspaper that Goodwill here was looking for someone. And I had been bouncing around trying to find the right fit here in Savannah. And then this one was it. So I joined the company the organization just over 4.5 years ago, and haven't looked back. Every day, it's something more that allows me to go back to that thing in my career in California, which was helping others achieve. I loved having people come through my part of the organization and surpass me and move on and achieve their greatest goals. And I have friends who used to work for me. They're now publishers of newspapers. I think that's fabulous. And I'm still doing that.
Oh, you are still doing
Well, not that. I'm doing that here now.
Okay,
I'm
but in a
helping
different
people
capacity.
move through and achieve their goals.
Okay, absolutely. All right. Well, that's good. So both of you just had, you were aware and you were out there searching for something and happened to come across this, and here you are.
And here we are. And
Savannah is enriched by it. So great.
And we are enriched by the experience. And I think that's what, in the end of the day, we look back on our lives, and isn't that what we want? So it's a great organization to be part of, and I'm very proud of what we've been able to accomplish here and will continue to accomplish.
Absolutely. Good news. Just while I'm thinking about it, so I don't forget it, and we'll talk some more about the organization, but I want to make sure to get this in. Do you guys have, I'm sure, some major fundraiser? How do you raise some funds in that manner?
The most important fundraising we do is through the sale of donated goods in our stores.
It is, okay.
It is the thing that we turn to the community and we say, donate your gently used items to Goodwill.
Okay.
We're going to sell them in our stores to fund the programs that we're talking about today.
Okay, so you depend just on that?
Well, predominantly on that,
Yes.
and our contracts. But Mike, go ahead.
I was going to say, yeah. So again, we're a conglomerate. So our primary financial engine is the stores. But in addition to that, the partnership that we have with Gulfstream, and in addition to that, the federal government contracting. We clean over 1 million square feet of office space at Fort Stewart, Hunter Army Airfield, the GSA federal buildings downtown here, and at FLETC, the Federal Law Enforcement Training Center in Brunswick, Georgia. So we have almost 200 associates doing cleaning and light maintenance work at those facilities every day. So that business model, plus our staffing company, we actually staff the drivers for international auto processors in Brunswick, Georgia, at the Port of Georgia. And we have over 100 associates there every day.
Wow.
So all of those businesses combined make up that 98% of the funding. But that other 2% comes from grants, and we do have one major fundraiser a year.
Okay.
Well, we're starting it this year. And I wouldn't say it's a major fundraiser, but it's really exciting for us to be able to bring our mission to the community in a way that recognizes the business support that we receive every year. So we've decided to begin, hopefully, a long-standing tradition, but this will be year one.
Okay.
This is our inaugural gala. It will be at at a hotel here in downtown.
The Andaz.
The Andaz. I didn't know if we could say that. Or not. Okay.
I just did.
Go right ahead.
We're going to be at the Andaz Hotel. They've been a wonderful partner with us on this. It will be May the 4th. And what it is it's our first annual Business Awards Gala.
I see.
And we're very excited. I'm very interested to see how it goes. I've never been part of a gala before.
Is that right?
So this will be our first shot.
gala.
First gala. We're going to give it a shot. There are some really terrific business partners we have here in the community that we wanted to recognize with some awards, and this will be an evening to do that. In addition, and what's also equally exciting is we're going to get to recognize some of our achievers, some of our clients that we have worked with over the last year that have done some extraordinary things, and they'll have an opportunity to be recognized that evening as well.
Okay, excellent. So that's not too far away. So that's good. I'm glad we were able to get you in, fairly close to that event, because that's good. I'm glad that you do have that kind of event going on and have started that. That's nice.
And that event this year kicks off. The following week is Goodwill Week, which is recognized by all Goodwills around the country, and that's just another opportunity for us to spotlight for the community all the different things that we do. So you'll see more events. We'll have some fun things happening in our stores. We'll have of course, major job fairs and hiring events going on in all 5 of our job connection centers. So much more to come. Maybe we'll ask to come back and talk to you more about that as we get
closer.
closer.
I'd love to have you guys back for sure, and that's that's a good thing. I thought maybe you'd have at least one, but it's good because you actually touched as you started to answer this, Michael. You actually touched on other areas that I did want to get into, and that I wanted to give you guys the opportunity to talk to is, again, something else that was a surprise to me, really, in addition to just the manufacturing facility, is how much you guys do in terms of the custodial type things that you mentioned, and that you work with various companies doing that and offer that service. You offer a lot of service, a lot of different job scenarios that you can get into through the operation there. And again, I didn't really realize that was just sort of this ongoing programmatic kind of thing that you guys have going on.
Yeah, and so each of our programs tends to align towards a specific population in the community that has been underserved. So with our custodial programs and our light maintenance programs at the federal government sites, that's actually through a broader national program called Ability One.
Oh,
and so we're
okay.
an Ability One provider
I see.
locally.
Okay.
And the Ability One program was formed by congressional legislation that says basically this: a federal contracting officer can set aside federal contracts for goods or services at any government site as long as the program with the Ability One program, it's a not-for-profit. Check the box there, we are.
Right.
And that on the contract sites that at least 75% of the workers are individuals with significant disabilities. That's the legislation.
Right.
So
Okay.
at our contract sites, we are like 79.8%, or 80% of our workforce are
Okay.
individuals with diagnosed significant disabilities working in those programs, making a very good paycheck because they get paid what they call the wage determination rate, which is the federal rates for contractors to pay
Right.
for different.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
on average,
Yeah.
most of our folks there are making $10.50 to $11 an hour as
Yeah.
custodians, which is very good pay.
Yes.
In addition to that, we have all the wraparound services that our case managers are able to provide to those individuals. And so what does that mean? Well, a lot of these individuals do have from time to time a challenge that may come up.
Mm-hmm.
Could be a transportation challenge. It could be something related to their physical or intellectual challenge, something that's going on organically with them. And we help to direct them to the right resources so that they do not fail in the job. So we like to call it interrupting failure. So as an individual may be dealing with some challenges, our case managers are able to advocate on their behalf and help that individual overcome whatever that in the moment that challenge may become. And we don't do that alone, by the way. We have just an enormous amount of community partners that we collaborate with because we can't
Okay.
be all things to everyone.
Well,
Our specialty is workforce development, helping individuals get a job and keep a job. But there's so many other organizations that we work with that both refer individuals into us and that we refer individuals back over to them for those other supports that help them maintain or sustain employment in the community.
Okay. Nice. Yeah. And you also started this hospitality training program, right? That's a new thing you got going too.
Yes,
Pretty new.
it was about a year in the making, working with the local hospitality industry and the Tourism Leadership Council, very, very closely involved with us in terms of what do they need. What is the employer looking for? We knew we had individuals who wanted to work in that industry, and so we were able to put together a certificate program. So far, so good. We start our second group, as a matter of fact, this week, and we'll keep going.
That's excellent. Yeah. And Lord knows, lots of hospitality in Savannah. So.
Absolutely, and it's an important industry for our community, and it's a great pathway job for individuals. It's one of the last jobs or industries where you don't necessarily have to have a college education to
Right.
get into a
Right.
management role, to develop.
Yeah,
It is
yeah.
a career path.
Absolutely, yeah.
And Michael and I have both met and worked side by side every day with individuals who are executives in the industry who started in the kitchen, and
right, sure.
so we're real pleased with this. And our
good.
workforce that went through that program, we had their graduation ceremony, had their families in, and the sense of accomplishment and the commitment to keep going was evident in the room. It was a great day.
Nice. That's a very good program. And as you say, you get in the hospitality industry, particularly somewhere like Savannah, there is a lot of room to move up. You can maybe you start at perhaps a modest level, but that doesn't mean you necessarily have to stay there. There's a lot of opportunities in that field in Savannah, so that's an excellent asset for the city, I think. I'll tell you what, we are going to take a brief musical interlude, folks, so please do hang in there with us. You're listening to Savannah Lexicon on WRUULP 107.5, and we do appreciate that.
This is WRUULP, Savannah, Georgia, 107.5 FM, WRUU.org. We are Savannah Soundings Community Radio with Global Soul.
All right, and we're back, folks, with some more Savannah Lexicon. And if you're just tuning in, shame on you for not being here a half an hour ago. That's first, but I'm still very glad you are here now. So that's okay. That's okay. You can tune in even halfway, and you're still making me happy. We today have with us Michael Winkler, President and CEO of Goodwill of Southeast Georgia, and Cynthia Barnes, Vice President, Community Engagement with the organization. We were just talking, actually, and Cynthia, you were talking about the new hospitality training program, and you've already graduated the first class, and that makes the point. You started and created the hospitality training program because you're here in Savannah where there is so much of that. And that just highlights the point that you are really a very local organization who's thinking about what kinds of jobs you can best serve and what industries. Just talk a little bit about that, either one of you.
So when we look at programming and we look at helping individuals go to work, we really are focused on business, and we are business partners. One of the things that makes our organization unique is we can sit there and talk with businesses because we're running businesses as well. So we understand all of the complexities of running a small business. And we're able to reach out to the community, look at the industries in our local community that need individuals at entry level, and we're able to work with them. And the hospitality training program that we have was born of a wonderful partnership we have now with the Tourism Leadership Council. And I would be remiss if I didn't mention Michael Owens, who is the president of the TLC, and Whip Triplett, who represents North Point and has been a wonderful partner to us and really been a very big supporter of helping us launch this new and innovative hospitality training program. What makes it innovative is the proprietary soft skills training that we incorporate into the hospitality training. We're using a very widely recognized national training for the nuts and bolts, or the hard skills, if you will, of the hospitality industry. Okay. What sets our program apart, we believe, is the additional soft skills training that we incorporate into the program itself. And so those two gentlemen, along with the entire TLC, has been incredibly supportive, great partners with us, and it's a great example of how we can partner and work with local industries. Gulfstream is another one, another great partner that I mentioned at the top of our interview. And there are a number of other businesses in town that work with us as well. But we know that in Savannah, warehousing and logistics, hospitality, and advanced manufacturing are really at the core of what we do here. And so we try to mirror our programs and business to align with that, so that we can train up individuals to go to work, because that's the goal.
That's the bottom line. Yeah, I mean, that's what you're after, right? Is to get people gainfully employed and in jobs that they can do and do well, and that satisfies them as well. So yeah, absolutely,
and that it reinforces why Goodwill as an autonomous local organization is so important.
Yes,
where we started half an hour ago, that we are locally directed, we are locally focused, and again, everything we do stays right here in our 33 counties.
Yes, excellent, good work. Now, also, just wanted to talk a little bit more about the stores. I know I think maybe one store is kind of unique in some sense, and
it is. Our stores in general, I'm going to, if I could, Wayne, our stores in general are really a hidden treasure for the community, because we're a great recycler. In fact, we keep how many pounds a year? Cynthia is our keeper of statistics.
More than 15 million pounds of items did not go into landfills last year because they were donated through Goodwill.
And that's here in that's 15 million
right
pounds
here.
in Southeast Georgia, not nationally. That's a
impressive,
local number.
And that's really, really good, too. I'm glad you mentioned that because, I didn't even think about an environmental element to this, but that's absolutely true. Great. Yeah. Excellent.
And so our stores also become a great treasure trove for bargain hunters.
Mm-hmm.
There's all kinds of opportunities for individuals to find things that are extraordinarily reasonably priced, and for many they keep them, and others they like to resell them as well. And we don't mind either one. We just want you to come into the stores. Our most unique opportunity just opened at the end of the year, and that is our outlet store, and it is a pay by the pound outlet center. So the items that we deemed saleable.
Yeah.
That did not sell at the stores.
I see.
Instead of going into what we call salvage, which we still make a little bit of money selling to salvage dealers who use those materials in third world countries. It's not going into landfills there. It's actually being repurposed.
Right.
But in other countries. What we wanted to do was have another layer for reuse before we got to the salvage point.
Right.
And the outlet provides that. So for basically about $1.19 a pound, you can buy clothing all day long.
Wow!
And to give you a sense of what that means, Cynthia actually had the great idea to let me weigh a pair of jeans.
Wow!
One pair of man's jeans.
Can you tell us how much?
Yeah, it was just under a pound.
Just under a pound.
So,
okay.
An even better story is one of my associates went into the outlet store, and pulled through the bins looking for children's clothing.
Yeah.
With the idea of a little girl, a baby girl.
Okay.
And in a matter of minutes had found, I want to say, 15 of the cutest items, all pink, all frilly. Weighed it out $2.30.
Wow.
So
that's a bargain.
And some of it new, all of it sellable.
Yeah,
I was giving a tour recently through the outlet store, and when you walk into the outlet, you have big, shallow bins. There's nothing on hangers. Nothing is grouped by size or by item. So you literally are searching.
Right.
And at random, I reached in to two different bins. One, I brought out a Talbot's women's jacket with the price tag still on it. And in another was a Ralph Lauren polo sweater for a little boy's size. You know, something that Grandma gave him. He probably wore it once, and it never got on his back again. But there are still wonderful treasures to be found in the outlet store. It's just that person who wants to go and dig through, and they'll have a fun time.
I know a lot of people who relish the whole idea of that in every way, including the digging through part.
It's a little easier to find a treasure in our regular stores because things are on hangers and things are organized by type and by color. But once they get to the outlet, it is really fun to see people grab things and go, hey, look at what I just found.
And where is this?
Thank you for asking. It would be terrible if we talked it out.
We wouldn't have left without telling you where it is.
So the outlet is in our former Sally Mood store at 7220 Sally Mood Drive. What we did is we relocated the store, as you mentioned.
So, the former, okay.
That's right. Yeah. So, and our new store on Eisenhower, 220 Eisenhower, it's our newest store. It really has become our flagship store, and it is doing wonderfully. The community has been great in responding and supporting that store. We do need more donations there.
Sure.
Folks are creatures of habit. We know this, and we all are.
Sure.
So we still get more donations at Sally Mood than we do over at Eisenhower, but we do take donations there.
Okay, yeah, right. So Sally Mood had been the flagship store, which now remains a store.
Yes.
But the new flagship is the 220 Eisenhower, and 7220 Sally Mood is the store.
Is the outlet store.
The outlet store that we're talking about now. Okay.
And the outlet store is open Tuesday through Saturday.
Okay.
So it has a different schedule.
And the other
Tuesday
stores
through
are
Saturday.
open
7 days a week.
7 days a week.
Yes.
Wow. Until how late?
9 o'clock.
Yes.
Wow.
We're
Well-
looking at each other going,
Well,
did we get
because
that
we're in
right?
Southeast Georgia, depending on community, business regulations in some certain communities, we're open till 8 o'clock in some and 9 o'clock in others. But if you
Okay.
go to our Facebook page,
Yeah.
it tells you exactly which location is open. It's either 8 or 9, but we're open until the evenings, Monday through Friday, and then on Saturday, Monday through Saturday, excuse me, and then Sunday we have modified hours because we want to give
Right.
all of our associates an opportunity to spend time with their family, and if they choose to worship in a manner that they see fit, they have an opportunity to do that as well.
Okay. So the best, now that we've touched on it, the best for the public, the best website is what? The Facebook page? Or
Well, we're very present on social media. You
Okay.
can go to our full line website, goodwillsoutheastgeorgia.org, or goodwillsega, SEGA.org will get
Okay.
you.
Okay.
We have Facebook page, all
right.
of it Goodwill Southeast Georgia.
Okay.
And for someone who's very focused on their cell phones, we have an Instagram account. We have a loyal shopper app. So if you go to your app store, either Google or Apple App Store, and search for Goodwill Southeast Georgia, you can download our app. And with that app, you can find your nearest location, the hours, a map to it. But most importantly, every time you make a purchase, you scan your receipt, earn points. The more points you earn, then you can get discounts in our stores.
Wow.
And
discounts on discount. How much
discounts-
discount can you go?
well,
Goodness gracious.
I'll tell you what.
As inexpensive as
Every
this stuff
Sunday,
is. It's
every
incredible.
Sunday in our stores, there will be one color tagged item that is 50 cents an item. So that's our sort of clearance day is Sunday. Items that have been in the store for more than 4 weeks will have a special color tag on it. Walk in, it'll tell you the color of the day is orange, and anything with an orange tag on Sunday is going to be 50 cents.
Wow.
It's just part of our program, Wayne, to be able to repurpose items to its fullest extent. And so, it's an interesting, in the world of thrift, we know that 80% of what we put out is going to sell in the first 2 weeks. And we try to
Wow,
rotate.
that's good.
Yeah.
That's really good. Yeah.
Well, 80% of what's going to sell will sell.
okay.
What's
Right.
going
Okay,
to
I
sell.
see what you're saying.
So,
Yeah, all right.
that last 2 weeks is really just the last chance, and then that last Sunday. So we're on a 4-week rotation.
I
So
see.
new
Okay.
stuff is coming out every day. In
Wow.
fact, new stuff is coming out every hour.
Yeah.
But that Sunday 50 cent is just another opportunity for individuals to get one last shot at it. And then after that, it goes to the outlet where they can buy by the pound. And then after that, then we sell it to salvage dealers who are then repurposing it to other countries for entrepreneurs there that are, doing all kinds of little, I always call it the bedazzler effect. So there's a value add that local entrepreneurs in these other countries will do with, they buy it by the bale, and then they go through the product and redo it.
Right.
So,
and I hate to put you on the spot here, but can we sort of run around where the stores are in general? They're all over different sections of town, I think. So they're widely dispersed, pretty much. Where are they, more or less?
so I'm going to see if I can do this without cheating.
okay.
Oh, I'm cheating.
So I'm gonna we'll start
or not cheating, either way. It'll be fine.
I'll
start-
keep track for Michael.
we'll start west to east. How about that?
Okay.
So our northwesternmost store is in Rincon.
Okay.
And it's right there on Highway 21 in Rincon.
All right.
And then we have our Pooler store, which is right there on Pooler Parkway.
Good location to have.
It is a nice location
Yeah.
for us to have. And then coming into town, we are at the Berwick Shopping Center.
Okay, down
off
on
of
Ogeechee Road, I
Yes,
think.
exactly.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
right. We've got
Okay.
that one there. And, of course, we have the one at 220 Eisenhower.
Sure, now the new flagship.
The new flagship. Then just east of there, we have our McAlpin Square store, which is in the Kroger Shopping Center there at McAlpin Square.
Okay, all right.
Right off of the Truman.
Right.
And then from there, you can go a little even further east to Wilmington Island.
Ah,
And we have a store right there on the main strip in the town of Wilmington.
okay. I didn't realize that.
Yeah, and I forget the name of the. It's Johnny
Johnny
Mercer.
Mercer.
Yeah, how could I forget that?
Yeah, I
Johnny
can't
Mercer
forget
Boulevard.
that now. No.
So it's so funny. lived out on the islands before I moved into our family home, and I would go by Johnny Mercer Boulevard all the time, and I'm probably showing my age I had no idea who Johnny Mercer was, and I kept and that's a big deal here. So finally I decided I should probably figure out who this Johnny Mercer guy is, and was just blown away because, of course, everybody knows Moon River and everything. So and I was just amazed that I didn't know exactly who he was because he's done so many wonderful hits. But anyway, this is a little aside. So we are on Johnny Mercer Boulevard on Wilmington. And then if you go a little bit on the south, we don't have anything currently on the south side, but if you go a little south of the south side down to Richmond Hill, we have a location in Richmond Hill.
Okay.
And then we also have a location out in Hinesville. And then, of course, we have a lot of rural stores, and we're in Statesboro, Brunswick, and St. Mary's as well.
Okay, I'm the witness, folks. He did that without cheating. He actually just pulled all that out.
Did I miss any?
So
Well, you said rural. He mentioned the rural
he mentioned
stores.
rural.
That's Waycross and Vidalia.
Okay, there we go.
Baxley and Jessup.
Okay.
And Claxton. So
Okay.
you lumped them in. We'll give you that one.
But yeah, he got
and of course the outlet store that we've been talking about. So yes, we got them all 17 in.
and he was hitting on the ones that were right here in
Exactly.
closest
to
in,
you
in
and your
Savannah
and your listeners.
and not far outside of Savannah. Okay, well, good deal. And honestly, there must be apparently you can get some really good deals. I yesterday I happened to be talking with a young lady who told me she has this thing for cashmere sweaters, and she has gotten cashmere sweaters at Goodwill places for just ridiculously cheap and really, really nice cashmere sweaters.
And it is one of the great secrets of the Goodwill stores. Michael and I often, as you're out in the community. I cannot tell you how many times I've sat down at a business luncheon, a chamber meeting, and you do the introductions around the table, and some of the best dressed women in this town tell me, I got this blazer from Goodwill.
Yeah.
And I always say, well, would you talk about that? And of course they are a little hesitant to do so. They know where the secret is. And they're getting brand name items. But they love to shop, and they love that treasure hunt.
That's it. That's why I was saying with the wholesale store. I mean, there are a lot of people who would just relish the whole sort of search, whole search thing.
On our Facebook,
like a treasure hunt.
Yes, on our Facebook page, Goodwill Southeast Georgia again, we have several bloggers, and so we have some new bloggers. If people go to our Facebook page, they'll be able to read the blogs and these are great shoppers who are sharing how to work a Goodwill store and find the greatest items. There is a system to it, and I confess I don't use it. I am not a great shopper. I'm a buyer, But if my sister is listening, she is my shopper, and she will hit every rack and she'll touch every hanger. And those are the people who find the best things.
Yes. Well, that's the thing. I guess you got to do. You got to go in there. You just got to go with the idea that I'm going to look around. I'm going to dig around.
And you never know what you'll find, but it will always be a great deal, a great value, and most importantly, you'll know you've been doing a great thing for our community when you shop us.
That's true too. And really and truly, that should be an incentive, I think, for that as well. Okay, listen, we're going to take another, and guys, this is going to be a very brief musical interlude, but we will be right back in a few minutes, and we're going to end, and get into the closing segment here. I have a few kind of announcements and observations I want to make about things going on, and then we'll have a final quick word with our guest. So hang with us. This one won't be long. To Savannah Lexicon as we hit our final kind of segments here. And I just wanted to mention several things that are going on. I like to kind of make sure everybody is aware of some of the incredibly wonderful, good things that are going on in Savannah all the time. And one that I just came across that just is so Savannah. I mean, this is such a great thing, is the Flannery O'Connor Birthday Parade and Street Fair. If you don't know about that, that's this coming Sunday from 1 to 4 p.m. at Lafayette Square. And it is in celebration, of course, Flannery O'Connor, a Savannah native and one of the great Southern writers of all time. And it's really an odd, quirky kind of thing where there is a bit of a parade with a somewhat sort of makeshift band that comes along with some horns and some drumming going on and various things. There are going to be people often dressed up in 1930s era dress wear in recognition of her time period, as well as some of the characters. Some people will dress up as some of the characters from her books, so her stories. So be aware of that and check that out. That is absolutely a delightful, very quirky Savannah kind of thing. This is a little bit in advance, but April 7th, 8th, and 9th, coming up at the Savannah International Trade and Convention Center, is the Savannah Tattoo Festival. So that should be another quite interesting opportunity for you to engage in. Also, again, of course, we have the Savannah Music Festival starting tonight, as I mentioned, and that's going to be going on for the next couple of weeks. Savannah Square by Square book signing is going to be tomorrow, 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. At the B Historic Hotel, as part of the Tour of Homes and Gardens headquarters at B Historic Hotel. That book published by Historic Savannah Foundation. The Southern Women's Show, March 24th through 26th at the Savannah International Trade and Convention Center. All sorts of stuff there, including health screenings and some book authors going to be there. We still have Irish stuff going on, y'all. Just in case you didn't know, actually on Saturday is going to be the Irish Road Bowling out on Hutchinson Island. So that by itself, sponsored by the Ancient Order of Hibernians, that by itself ought to be quite a spectacle. And also let you know that through May 1st, the face-to-face American Portraits from the Permanent Collection at the Telfair Academy of Arts and Sciences. And then Nick Cave exhibit continues out at the Jepson Center for the Arts through April 23rd. As you no doubt know, but I keep mentioning and reminding you that, of course, the Stage on Bay finally did get its alcohol license. And they are now having their shows going on, so check into that, www.stageonbay.com. Tomorrow is Quiet Riot. So we're talking about some that's serious stuff there. Quiet Riot on Friday. A week from Friday is C plus C in the Music Factory. Everybody dance now. You know that one. You remember that one, don't you? I mean, it sounds a lot better than what I just did, but that probably brings to mind CC and the Music Factory. That was a classic. They're going to be out there. Coming up, shows April 7th, Rodney Atkins, Sister Hazel, April 14th, and on. Stage on Bay is fully operational these days, finally, out at 1200 West Bay Street. So just some of the some of the interesting things. And by all means, check on the Savannah Music Festival. Go to their website and check on that. There's just some absolutely wonderful things going on there. Okay, we're back, and we're going to have to end things here very shortly. So I do want to just take a minute to thank you guys for coming in again and telling us all about Goodwill of Southeast Georgia. Any final words you want to send people? The web page is
Goodwill Southeast Georgia or .org. Goodwill Sega SEGA.org will get you there too if you don't want to type too much. So Goodwill SEGA.org. And you can find lots of information there on all the different programs we're doing. And if you're a job seeker, someone looking to take another step, a step up, a step back into the job force,
Yep.
Then I urge you to come by our Job Connection Center, also at 7220 Sally Mood. Register, get involved with our training and workforce folks, and let's help you get on the path to your next job.
Excellent. And as a business, as a small business, be aware of the services that you offer. And absolutely. Yeah,
Feel free to reach out to us and give us a call. We'd be more than happy to sit down and talk with you about how you can get more involved in what we're doing and collaborate with us as a business leader. And I can't go off the air without asking all of your listeners to donate to Goodwill. Drop off your gently used items, housewares, clothing, and let us put them to good work.
Very good. Thank you so much. We'll be back next time Tuesday at 7 o'clock with Savannah Rising, 8 o'clock Savannah Lexicon. Everybody have yourself a wonderful good day.